Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. Now, is this someone lying? My God.
This is so exciting. When you got the three stooges like ourselves, you can't get better than that. You know, I think it was on, I don't know what day it was, Monday or Tuesday.
Love it around shirt there, man.
I think when Anthony was on, we were talking about
what was it? My cosmic neighbors guy. Yeah.
I don't know what day it was. We're talking a little bit about the Maury Island incident, not the whole thing, but there's some people. Oh, no. It's when I did a walk around. Just a 3-minute video. And there's a lot of people in the comments says they actually never heard of the story. I'm like, really? Never heard of this story? Because if you haven't heard the story, I mean, the Maury Island incident, in my opinion, could be up there with the Roswells of the world. I mean, it's amazing on how certain stories are the ones that get the publicity behind it, and some stories are equal or even more than that. Don't. It's really crazy because the Maury Island incident in 1947 has a lot of things like Roswell. There were 6 UFOs that the claim they saw. 6, not one that crashed in Roswell. 6 that crashed. So you got that equals Roswell. And then you also have the first story of the Men in Black being on a story. That Men in Black visit the person to say, no, you did not see this. Force the person, apparently in the story, to lie and say he made it up. I mean, this one has so many elements like Roswell that I'm surprising that it's not even in the top 3 of people's UFO crasher sightings. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, people, I do have a 4-minute video kind of explain the Maury Island incident. So this might be an education if you never heard of this story. Now, if you're curious, where is this Maury Island? Before I show this video, let me just show you guys real quick where it's supposed to happen. Let me share the screen. Because I know when you hear the Maury Island incident, you know, you're like, where's this at? Okay. So if you can see the map here, this is basically Seattle. Now, let me see here. Now, you see the red dot. The red dot is where they consider the Maury Island incident. But if you look across the water, I don't know if you guys see my mouse moving around on the screen. Okay. Now, this is Des Moines. Now, this is where I live. I live right here. Seattle's right above us. Seattle is right here. It's only 10 minutes away. I know it looks farther, but it's only 10 minutes away. So I live right here in Des Moines. Now, technically, the crash is really Des Moines because there's a little bridge here where I was is where the UFO was caught. But I don't know if the name of the island is more popular than saying Des Moines.
Just sound better.
It sounds better because there is a Des Moines in Idaho. Or is it Ohio?
Iowa.
I'm sorry. Iowa. So maybe that's why they call it Maury Island. But technically, you could say my hometown Des Moines incident but it doesn't sound great. But that's where it's at.
I've been to Des Moines, Iowa. It's corn town. It's all cornfields and potatoes and wheat. That's all open fields.
Yeah, and you can see I'm surrounded by the Puget Sound. And of course, where I was at, I don't know if you can't really tell where I was at. It's hard to move this. Where there's like a bridge here where you go out, but I was like right here when you guys saw that 3-minute video. I'm looking, but this is basically where where it's at. Just kind of give you guys an idea, because when you hear about an island, you probably don't know, well, where the hell is this island? What state is it? It's in Washington. It's in Washington. It's actually in my own backyard. So it's kind of cool. So sometimes me and my dog, I take my dog out there, and I take it on a trail, and we look for aliens, right? Dog? Okay, that dog's not listening to me right now. I think she's actually snoring at the moment, so that's good. So here's the video to kind of explain about this incident.
Do you like unsolved mysteries? Maybe a government cover-up with an FBI agent relentlessly seeking the truth. And maybe it's a Cold War story, and it goes all the way to the top. Maybe all the way to J. Edgar Hoover himself. And what if all of that not only actually happened, but happened in connection with an infamous UFO sighting over Puget Sound? This is Des Moines, Washington, in Seattle's Southside, a small town with some very big stories. When I heard this story, I just had to know more. And I think you'll feel the same way. Come on. The Maury Island Incident mural isn't just a most excellent spot for a selfie, it's a Des Moines launch pad for the true story that envelops what some say is the most incredible UFO tale in history. It's June 21, 1947, when Tacoma resident Harold Dahl and his son Charles and the family dog Sparky picked up two crewmen on the docks in Tacoma, and they headed out towards Maury Island on Harold's boat, the North Queen. Harold sees 6 huge flying discs in the sky, 100 feet across, hollow, shaped like...
First of all, guys, you hear that? 6.
Hollow.
6. Now, before I press play again, now going back to weather balloons, is there usually 6 weather balloons by each other? Or is it just usually one when they launch it?
Whether I think they only I've only seen one launched at a time, right? And then that goes for about 20, 30 miles away, and then maybe they'll launch another one depending on what kind of scientific instruments they're putting up. But never 6 in a row, one after the other.
So I just wanted to bring that up now, so we can take the weather balloon out, because like you said, maybe 1, maybe luckily 2, but not 6. Not 6 going to float.
I do have to say though, there are weather balloons that go up, and then a string hangs from them, and they hang different instruments spread apart from each other, and that tail can drift, and the higher it gets, it can make it look like multiple objects. So also keep that in mind.
Okay.
But, I'm not saying that's what this is. I'm just saying.
No, I hear you.
Like donuts. One of them seems to be failing. It's lower than the others. There's an explosion and all kinds of debris. It's molten like lava. It's referred to by some as slag. The dog Sparky is hit and killed. The North Queen is damaged. Some slag burns Charles on his arm. They're so frightened that they run the boat aground on the nearest land, the beach on Maury Island, and they hide from the raining fire beneath some cliffs until the saucers go away. But none of that is the weird part, because on the very next day, a man in black confronts Harold. The man in black told Harold that he knew what Harold had seen the day before in the water, and the man in black warned Harold not to tell anyone, or bad things might happen. Harold's account is our first modern reference to the men in black. Think about that. The X-Files, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Yep, the Maury Island Incident is where that all started, right here. But none of that is the weird part. J. Edgar Hoover is competing with the Army over jurisdiction to investigate the saucer sightings. They wanted to know what people were seeing, because they wanted to know if maybe the Soviets were overflying our country. The Army assigns 2 intelligence officers, former World War II pilots, to investigate Maury Island, Captain William Davidson and Lieutenant Frank Brown. On July 31st, 1947, the 2 intelligence officers actually fly to McCord Field in Tacoma.
I'm going to continue it, but this is an interesting fact. Not a fact, but Danny was
never.
saying. I've seen thousands of weather balloons. My dad was in Air Force. I lived on bases, but never seen one shaped like a donut.
True.
That's
Me neither.
I thought I pause it to show that. That is some valuable information right there.
In an Army surplus B-25 bomber that they pilot. But by this time, over a month later, just like the man in black had warned, bad things had happened to Harold. The two intelligence officers, they take samples of the slag, manifest it as top secret cargo, and store it inside the bomber's navigator's kit. Tragically, Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown perish when the B-25 spontaneously and inexplicably catches fire less than 1 hour into the flight. Now here is where it gets twisted. Harold is so upset about all the bad things that have happened, he decides he's going to make up a new story. He's going to tell the whole world that he made the whole thing up. That he's the biggest liar that ever lived. Because he'd rather be known as a liar than face more ridicule. That's the story. Don't know what to believe? Come to Des Moines and see for yourself. For more...
Well, like I said, so basically the story goes that he was forced to say he was lying, or in that version, that he said he was lying because he was tired of people harassing him. Remember, this is back in 1947. This ain't modern time where you got the back of social media, backing you up and all this stuff. So I don't know, man. I mean, what do you guys think? I agree with I like when Danny said, there is no balloon shaped as a donut. So, but
I'd like to know where the fragments are. So where they tested, is there data on the fragments that were raining down from the sky? Did they do an autopsy on the dog that was hit by a piece of this alleged falling debris from this UFO craft? Any scientific analysis done on any of this debris? Was anything retrieved? That's what I would like to know.
I got this next video. It's a news story because they actually made a documentary movie of this in 2014. And I remember in this video they showed something, the makers of it. Let's see. Maybe that could answer some of it. Let's see.
I was a skeptic going in, and I wish we had enough time to pick the brains of these guys that I want to talk to, actually, because it's asking the questions to the guys behind the movie, the Maury Island Incident. You get a lot of justifications for what actually happened. Scott and Steve, for someone that doesn't know the Maury Island Incident, give me like the 10-second breakdown of it.
Okay, in June 21st, 1947, Harold Dahl was on a boat. He used to scavenge logs, and he was out there at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and he saw 6 flying discs. They looked kind of like donuts. Mm-hmm. And one of them was in trouble. Another one came next to it like it was going to fix it or something. And a bunch of stuff fell out of the one that was in trouble. Some of the stuff hit the boat and killed their dog, injured his son.
Oh, not the dog.
And it was like hot molten. They called it slag. And you're holding this rock here that is allegedly a piece of that slag, possibly.
So this came from the saucers.
Yeah, this was found by a young boy named Elmer Frombach in 1966 in a...
Now, the thing is, I can't tell you if... Now, they're saying that came from that, but I can't tell you if that was properly analyzed, what's the material in it, but there's claims of that piece came from that incident.
Now, that's exactly what slag looks like. Because I also worked, I also have a union book. I worked as a mason for the union. And when the iron workers are working and they're welding and, bits of molten slag hit the ground and they dry, they're tiny, but they do resemble, chunks of hardened molten steel. And that's exactly what it will look like. I would like to know what elements are in there. Is it high in aluminum content, or what the hell is it made of? When they analyze that, they could tell if those elements could be made on world, if if they're off world. You could find all that out, right, Ron?
Exactly. A matter of fact, they just found 2 new elements, 2 new minerals on a meteor that landed in Somalia just last year. A couple of years ago, they just found 2 new minerals. But the thing is, when they say this, and if they don't even tell you well, we ran it through tests, anything. It's just a story. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. I know it sounds good with people. To me, that annoys me because, like, that could be anything. And like Anthony said, it could be slag. Who knows what that is?
Right.
You know?
Could be
It's
a
just,
freaking
yeah,
rock.
it came from the thing.
Yeah.
You know, no, it doesn't offer nothing else. Like unless he's still has time to say it. Like we sent it off to a university and had it tested for whatever like that. No, this is what came off. Trust me, bro.
Ron and I were just discussing that before the show together, how important the scientific data is. Not them telling you that these things were scientifically tested and doing the movies. Oh, yeah, we showing you the actual physical paperwork, the actual physical data, so you can research it yourself. That is what's important. Not the fact that they mentioned that. I could tell you a UFO crashed in my backyard, and I got a piece of it right here, and me and Ron went and had it scientifically analyzed.
Yeah.
But now there's
That don't mean shit, you know.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
continue playing the video, see if they say they did mention it. But there is a couple things that I like what some people wrote in the chat. If they send it to anyone to run tests, it will never come back, and that's a good one too. They probably would never get it back. But then you think they would mention that they never report it back. But then here's always a good question: wouldn't any debris be radioactive? Let me ask you guys something for a second.
Great question.
We just
That is a
talked
good
about
question
that.
because let me ask this. I'm serious about this now. Does it automatically mean if something apparently came from space, no matter what, there's going to be a radioactive thing to it?
Yes.
Why? I mean,
Wait.
Why is that?
Not necessarily. Not every single thing. It all depends because you got to remember, like the radioactivity that it comes from, like the sun and the stars, depending on the angle on which it comes in and everything. Like there's meteorites that hit that they're not radioactive. You know what I mean?
They have trace elements of it.
Yeah, but it's below the threshold that is dangerous. Like
Yeah,
that.
but it will always have trace elements of radioactive residue on it.
Yeah,
Coming
but
from
not,
space.
I don't think every single thing has the radioactivity, but still, something like that definitely, like I think it would, but again, it just, I don't know,
Well,
it just annoys me.
And also, if there's, I'm just like, this is speculation. So here's a ship. I can see the outside of the ship might have some radioactive because that's the one that's hitting the atmosphere coming down. But everything on inside the ship, I don't know, say they had a lamp inside the ship and that fell down. Why would that lamp be radioactive? If that was inside the ship, that's not exposed to the elements outside the spaceship. I'm just saying.
Because it sounds good. That's why.
That's
why
I
they're
was
saying.
just, I was just curious. Let's see what else they say here.
Bach in 1966 in a tree on Maury Island at the crash site.
And then this inspired you guys to make a short film about it, which led to a festival that's happening tomorrow, actually. Tell me about this award that you won real quickly.
Okay.
Actually, this is we've won a lot of mainstream awards. We're actually particularly proud of this one because this is best short film at the Global UFO Conference in Phoenix, which is the largest UFO festival in the world.
One day, guys, we're going to be standing there with an award for the cartoon series. I'm just saying, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I hope.
Which is actually kind of fun, and we just love the design, the unique design of this award. It's a whole bunch of fun, but the audience loved the film, yeah, it's been a great process. And the one thing we haven't talked about, which I think is really cool about our story, is this is the origin of the Man in Black mythology.
Yes,
and you can't forget that. That is the next day after Harold Dahl says he saw these discs, was that he was approached at his house, Man in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black. I mean, if you want to check out the Maury Island Incident, the film is online. You can get it everywhere, right?
Yes, Maury-Island-Incident.com.
There you go, Maury-Island-Incident.com. Check out the UFO Festival happening tomorrow in Burien, guys.
Well, you guys heard there is a .com site for the movie. If
I never seen it. I'll check it out later on.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, I didn't even realize also there was a movie until I saw that clip. And then I went to Amazon, typed in Maury Island Incident. Nothing came up like for the movie. So I guess I might have to go to the website.
Yeah.
The website to see it. I would have thought that it would have been able to be pay-per-view somewhere, like on VOD or something. But You know, be interesting. But I don't know if you guys even know this. Washington State Senate passes resolution recognizing the Maury Island incident. Now I don't know. But I actually got the clip. Now the whole clip is like 90 minutes. Maybe we'll skip through some parts, but there was actually a resolution that brought to the Washington State, the state Congress, to recognize this. And I don't know how often. Maybe you guys know this. Is it normal? I don't know, like big stories, like maybe Roswell, that the states actually pass resolution to recognize some of this
I
stuff?
know of a few, especially UFO Man's partner, Tom Reed, the governor of that state, made a proclamation that it was a historically accurate UFO sighting and a UFO abduction. And they even gave a park to Tom Reed. They named it UFO Park in honor of his UFO abduction. So those things happen. Roswell, another one. So yeah, it happens. Not often, but yes, it happens.
And I'll show you guys. Now, this might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but it's kind of cool to see. One thing I will say about Washington, people of the state, percentage, not all people, they do recognize a lot of stuff, and they do support a lot of stuff. Like Bigfoot's huge here. There's even Bigfoot mascots. I would say that this state is more open to this kind of stuff versus a lot of other states. I will say that. But here's the Senate.
Business, petitions, memorials, and Senate resolutions. Senate Floor Resolution 8648, the Secretary will read.
Whereas on June 21st, 1947, Tacoma resident Harold Dahl and his son allegedly sighted 6 flying discs over Puget Sound near Vashon, Maury Island, an event now commonly known as the Maury Island Incident. And whereas on June 22nd, 1947, Mr. Dahl alleges he was warned not to talk about what he saw by a man dressed in a black suit. And whereas on June 24th, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold alleges he saw 9 unidentified flying objects near Mount Rainier. And whereas these controversial sightings helped launch a pop culture phenomenon of UFO sightings across the United States during the summer of 1947, which became known as the Summer of the Saucers. And whereas on August 8th, 1947, 2 weeks after the Washington sightings, a UFO is alleged to have crashed outside Roswell, New Mexico. And this alleged crash has since become the most well-known alleged UFO incident in history. And whereas on October 1st, 1947, Army Air Corps intelligence officers Captain William L. Davidson and First Lieutenant Frank M. Brown, who interviewed Harold Dahl about the sighting, lost their lives when the B-25 bomber they were piloting crashed outside Kelso, Washington. And whereas following the tragic deaths of Davidson and Brown, Harold Dahl publicly claimed his sightings at Maury Island was a hoax. And whereas special agents for the Federal Bureau of Investigation conducted an investigation of the deaths of Davidson and Brown and ultimately concluded that Dahl did not recant his story, but his claim of a hoax was itself a fabrication to avoid further public attention and ridicule. And whereas the FBI's conclusions of Dahl's secret were sealed for 50 years, and whereas the Maury Island incident and its surrounding circumstances have made immeasurable contributions to Washington State's cultural heritage and to popular culture worldwide, including most recent the 2014 award-winning motion picture The Maury Island Incident and the 2015 web series The Maury Island Incident, produced in conjunction with the Washington Filmworks Innovation Lab and Motion Picture Competitive Program. And whereas on April 1st, 2017, the 3rd annual Burien UFO Festival will be held in the newest hipster hangout of downtown Old Burien with a wide community participation and good humor. And whereas
And Burien's right next to me, it's right here.
Seminal UFO sighting events, the Washington State sightings should be recognized for both their prominence and primacy in the modern era of UFO popular culture. Now therefore be it resolved that the Washington State Senate pause to acknowledge the 70th anniversary of the June 21st, 1947 Maury Island Incident, the 1947 Summer of Saucers popular culture phenomenon launched worldwide by these controversial events, and the first reference to the characters now popularly known as the Men in Black. And be it further resolved that the Washington State Senate recognize and honor the heroism and service of the Army Air Corps intelligence officers Captain William L. Davidson and First Lieutenant Frank M. Brown, who lost their lives following their investigation of the Maury Island incident when their airplane crashed outside of Kelso, Washington on August 1st, 1947, and be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be immediately transmitted by the Secretary of the Senate to the Air Force Historical Research Agency, to the Vashon Maury Island Heritage Association, to the Des Moines Historical Society, to the Highline Historical Society, to the Burien Historical Society, to the Longview Kelso
Kind of
Historical
cool. I
Society,
mean,
and to
it's
the Washington State Historical Museum.
very
Thank you,
cool.
Senator Kaiser.
What?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption of Senate Resolution 8648.
Senator Kaiser's moved the resolution be adopted. Remarks, Senator Kaiser.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an acknowledgement of the 70th anniversary of what's known as the Maury Island Incident. Today's resolution is also about so much more than that warm summer evening sighting over the calm waters of Puget Sound near Maury Island. It's about our human condition, our condition of wonder and curiosity and imagination, and the cultural significance of the Maury Island incident that challenged so many of us to think beyond the stars.
I don't know about everybody in the chat who's seen this. I know this is not the most exciting thing in the world because they talk slower, but it's kind of cool that, you know, this stuff gets brought up even with the state, and they do recognize it, and they put it in museums. They put the story there. I mean, if the whole thing was flat out fabricated, maybe it was. I can't tell you. I wasn't born there. I wasn't there. But it must have enough impact to be able to go in front of a Congress of your own state to get it recognized as a true story of culture of your own state.
It could also be that it's been around for 70 years that they did that, you know, that it happened there, and, you know, it's a 70-year-old story, and you know what I'm saying?
And remember, they're people too. They don't say a lot of things in front of each other like that, which is great. But they have their own beliefs. They just in public, they'll ridicule it or laugh, ha ha ha, little green men. But when they go home, a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, that we do. So they just don't like to say it in public. So that's cool that they said it like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then here, let me just.
Doesn't hurt tourism either.
No,
No, not at all.
In the culture we have of imagination and innovation, I urge adoption of this resolution.
Claps.
Bravo.
Senate will remain in order. Senator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of this resolution and want to thank Senator Kaiser for bringing it forward. This is so Maury Island, and Maury Island is where I live. The Maury Island incident is famous. In 1947, there were 6 UFOs sighted. 6. And recently I found out when Senator Fain was 14. He saw, I'm serious, he saw a UFO over Maury Island. So it is not that it ended in 1947, Mr. President. The incidents continue. They continue. And we have to consider that there is potential cosmic life over Maury Island. The island is famous. And for those of you who have not visited it, I would invite you. It's a very special place with a cosmic presence.
Is she inviting cosmic leaders? I keep hearing cosmic.
And if I do not come back someday,
I think she's
sir,
calling Ron there.
I did it.
Now the only way to get to this island is a ferry boat. There's no roads to get you on it. You have to get there by a ferry boat. And now what's cool is not cool, but so to get to Vashon, you got to pay to get on the boat. But actually, to leave Vashon, they don't charge you anything to leave the island. Maybe they want you to get you off the island or not. It's a very good size island. We did sometimes when I was working with the cable company, we took ferry boats to do some.
Oh, you've been there?
Yes. Oh, Vashon's right. That island's right there. We just jump on a ferry boat on Fauntleroy. It's called Fauntleroy ferry boat.
How long is the ferry boat ride across? Half hour?
No, 15 minutes. I mean, when you guys, if you guys saw my 3-minute video, if you look behind the water, there's an island there. That's the Maury Island Incident.
Okay.
That's right there. I mean, is just right
You
there.
should
It's,
go and videotape the ferry ride across and everything, Eric.
That should, yeah. That'd be
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to actually take the ferry boat. We always go on the ferry boat. We used to it's fantastic. It's fun. It's a fun boat ride actually. You just go on, you go upstairs, get some food and relax. And like I said, Vashon is it's just right there. There's another side where there's a Navy base in Bremerton. Okay, so if you think of Bremerton, if you guys anybody know about the Navy base, so between the Navy base and Seattle Des Moines, in the middle there's some islands, and that's the islands right between. Now maybe the UFO is because this Navy base has submarines, it has nuclear. There is nuclear on these ships, so they say that if there's ever
nuclear war,
people want to take over the United States, one of the main places to destroy is where I live because of the nuclear technology they have on some of these ships. So I'm not safe. So if there's a real war games, I'm gone. I'm vanished.
The Navy
the movie War Games is made here in Seattle, Washington.
The U.S. Navy Weapons Depot, Fort Earl, is right across the water from me, a couple miles away, man. I'd be wiped out too. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, just so you know, today Grogu should be arriving to you today.
Really?
Yeah, it should be out for delivery today.
See, I have I don't know if you can see here. This is my my ferry boat disability card where I could get discounts on the boats because we take it a lot. So I even get a discount on riding the ferry boat.
For the ferry?
What's that?
You pay for the ferry?
I get it.
I'm saying they charge for it.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. The ferry is now actually to get off of Vashon, they don't charge. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
but to get on it, to go there, yeah, they charge, and I do get a
Where they charge?
The charge is about now if you're going on foot, it's like $4 or $5.
Really?
But if you're going on a car, depending on the size of the car, I remember it's like anywhere from $12 to $17.
They don't even charge us for the ferry to go to Manhattan.
Oh no. Hey, one thing about the state of Washington, they charge you for everything. But I do have a disability discount card, so I get a pretty good discount. It's not free. It's not free, but you know it is.
Not that I take the bus or anything, but I get that stuff too, parking and all of that.
And it depends on where you take the boat off. This might sound weird. If you take the boat off on the Seattle side, you pay double more. But between Vashon, then it goes to what they call Port Orchard, where there's a town. Now, when you take the ferry boat from Port Orchard, it's like half the price. So it depends on the county that you're in. King County, where I'm in the Seattle King County, they charge. It's the most tax of the whole state crazy, right here. Man. They want the most money. Money
for everything today, man.
But let me see if when he says it. The vote is in.
Fully trained elsewhere. If there are no further remarks, question before the Senate's adoption of this resolution. As many as in favor, please say aye. Many as opposed, please say no. Resolution is adopted. The President would like to recognize a few.
Here we go. It gets recognized, so that's kind of cool. Now, there's a lot of cool things. Actually, here, I got one more video to show you guys. This is just like an overall video of the weird of Washington about there's some Bigfoot talk and UFOs numbers. I thought it was kind of interesting. Here.
Weird New Jersey.
Why don't I hear anything?
It's not playing.
Oh, it's frozen. Not that again. Here we go. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me pop it up again. Oh, what is it? Here we go.
I'll be the first to admit that New Jersey can be a weird place. And if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know I'm no stranger to having a laugh at the expense of my own state. However, despite us having a cursed tree, our own devil, and ghosts pretty much never more than a stone's toss away, I think one state has us beat in strangeness. The evergreen, ever bizarre state of Washington. Here are the numbers for you. With 12 votes in the Electoral College, Washington is the 13th state when ranked by population, but
13?
first in Bigfoot sightings, number 1 in UFO sightings, and number 4 in missing persons cases. What's
Now that is interesting. Now I'm not saying these are just numbers of people being reported, so we know nothing's accurate. But it is interesting. They're saying number 1 sighting Bigfoot, number 1 sighting of UFO, and then number 4 of missing people. Now I'm not saying the missing people are related to UFOs and Bigfoots, but one of the homework that a lot of you people in the chat should do is check out the states that, according to reports of the highest UFOs and Bigfoots, check out to see how many missing people are around that number, just to see if there's a higher percentage of people missing when there is higher percentage of UFOs and Bigfoots.
You said you're going up to Vancouver Island, right?
I'm going up to Vancouver Island on the 12th.
That's Bigfoot territory, no?
Oh, big time. Big time. If you guys look at California mountains, Red Forest and all that, it goes basically all the way through Oregon, all the way through Washington, and like basically all the way through Canada. So, I mean, it's just one big, huge mountains forest for these.
That's where what's his name goes, Sasquatch. Oh my God, the guy that oh God, what's his name? The guy they always says a Bigfoot hoaxer. Why his name just totally blanked out in my head? Todd Standing does Vancouver Island.
Yeah, they have a lot of reports up there. Let's see what else they say here.
What's going on up there? Now, when I say first in Bigfoot sightings, let me make one thing very clear. Per the BFRO, Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, California is number 2 with 445 sightings reported to them. Washington State is number 1 with 676, despite being less than a fifth the size of the home of Hollywood. In other words, per 100,000 people, California had 1.1 sightings reported to the BFRO, Washington State had 8.9. This enormous jump in encounters per 100,000 compared to other states, plus leading in UFO sightings, suggests that something very strange may be going on just south of Canada. There does seem to be a connection of some sort between Sasquatches and UFOs, as many sightings involve lights in the sky, mysterious orbs, and aircraft that just can't be explained as terrestrial, but if anyone knows, they're not sharing. That brings us to the disappearances. As mentioned earlier, while Washington is actually on the safer side when it comes to violent crime, compared to other states in the United States, it's 4th when it comes to missing people. If it's not humans doing this, you gotta wonder if there's some truth to alien abduction stories, or campfire tales of Bigfoot carrying people off, never to be seen again. In the world of the paranormal, there's a term, high strangeness, which is a catch-all for stuff that's beyond our ability to explain. What seems to be the real question for researchers is,
Bigfoot loves
all
Elvis.
disconnect? Why do Bigfoot and UFOs end up being seen together, and why does one state lead in sightings of both, and why do they lead in sightings of Bigfoot by such an enormous margin? If anyone from Washington wants to let me know, please feel free in the comments.
And the Loch Ness
I will
Monster.
go over to
You're
investigate
gonna see
myself.
Elvis.
when
He
it comes-
even rode Nessie. That's it.
Well, thank you very much, Nessie. You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, now I don't know. I don't really hear so many reports that UFOs and Bigfoots are near, but I mean, there's a few. So I don't know how big that part is. You know, I mean, listen, I don't know. I mean, relations between Bigfoot and UFO, I mean, it is interesting, but I don't know if there's a real true connection between both. It's just, if you live in the mountains, you're gonna, you know, there's a good chance you might see Bigfoot. You know, if you're in the mountains, you have less interference with airplanes, airports, international airports, so you get to see the sky more. So it's more open to see UFOs. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, Ron. What do you think? Is there a connection between the two?
Well, up there in those mountain and the forests up there, those are some dense areas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can't wait to get there. I want to go check out those giant redwoods. I've always wanted to see that.
You and I both, man. I'd love to see that.
I mean, people go missing up there, And I'm not saying, oh, because of just Bigfoot, anybody could get lost up there. That's how dense that is. You know, somebody could live up there, a family could live up there, and you'll never see them. Because
Yeah.
that's a long way. I don't think people realize how far that is when you talk about going through
Well-
California, Washington, up into Canada, the whole frigging coastline.
Massive.
Ron, let me tell you this, Ron. We grew up in a hunting family, up in the Sierra Mountains, Yosemite Mountains, up in Fresno. You know, it's easier to hunt in California than it is Washington, because in California, the forest where I'm at, it's a little bit more open forest. You can see a lot more through the spaces. When you go to Washington, you hunt in Washington, it's a totally different kind of a hunt because there's more condensed trees. You can't see as good as you can in California. You know, and I know it's hard to explain if you guys have been in these mountains. You can scope on a hill. People are like, oh my God, these people are mean. No. But I'm just saying, you can actually sit on a hill and hunt that way or be in a tree. In Washington, you can't really hunt on a hill because there's just so many trees and they're so close together.
Densely packed forest.
It's a lot more condensed, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I can see where Bigfoot would love hanging out in Washington even more than California because it's easier to hide because the amount of trees that are closer together.
Mm.
And of course, you go to Canada, it's even closer.
Now, just thinking about something. This has got nothing to do with the forest. I was watching last night. Some video just on autoplay on YouTube popped up, and it was about the 10 best Bigfoot sightings or something like that. The video was, and I'm sure everybody remembers there was one that these guys were on a mountain and they look down, they say it must be a Sasquatch, that it was by itself in the snow climbing up the mountain. Do you remember that one like that? And I looked at it and I thought, could that be a bear? I didn't think it was a bear. And when you look at it, like, what the hell was that? Because, like, not for nothing, the elements out there comb the snow. And when you look how far the ground it covered in that short period of time, going
uphill, yeah.
like that's amazing. That
Yeah.
thing, I think, is an actual sighting. That one. Like that.
I
And
totally believe Sasquatch are out there, man. Totally.
I do too.
I don't believe there's a lot of them, but I believe they're 100% real.
Yeah, and what about that what is that called? Not swamp ape or
skunk ape.
Skunk ape, thank you, swamp ape, right? That you see that one that they got, and I'll have to share the video with you guys, but it's the one where they catch this thing, is snapping a tree and actually throwing it like 50 feet away.
What about the one the skunk ape is digging through the tree and pulling the grubs out of the tree and eating them in Florida? The skunk ape.
I didn't see that one. I want to see that one.
What's his name? Show me that one. Bigfoot Anon.
Yeah, because I seen it last night that this thing, whatever it was, like snaps a tree, not a giant tree, but still a tree, and like, was it 50 feet away? You see this whole tall tree. The tree must be 40 feet tall, like that. I'll have to send you the link. Maybe you could go over it the next time or something. But
Yeah.
I watched that yesterday, and I went over and over and over, and I'm like, I don't know. Could they have hoaxed that? Could that have been a piece of bamboo? They made it look like a tree, and they tossed it. Like, anything's possible. But I think those two, to me, look legit.
I think it was Barry the Bigfoot. I think Barry did it.
Here's the one where the skunk ape is eating the grubs out of the tree.
Oh yeah, let me find that thing for you.
Let me just hit play.
Can you make it big? Yeah, thank you.
Maybe I should mute this. I don't know if there's any
You should just mute it. Just
copyright to
be
mute.
safe side.
Okay. So there it is, dead center. You guys see it? It's big enough? See it dead
Yep,
center?
I see it right there. It's right.
Dead right there.
Yep.
Can you see my cursor?
Yep.
Yeah, I see I see what you're pointing at.
Because now it's walking.
I want to find this for you now.
Just chilling right back there.
Judy made a true comment, really. She wrote laugh out loud, but if we're not careful, everything will be loaded as a hoax. I know. That's the problem. We got so many people hoaxing.
Keep in mind that this thing is kneeling down in this is Florida. This is alligator infested swamp. This thing is in. You know, that water's like, you know, knee deep, 36 inches deep. And you could just tell that it's massive. I mean, look at that. I just can't. And you can see its literal feet coming out of the water at its as it's stepping. I can't imagine somebody in an ape suit in the Florida heat in a swamp, alligator infested, with a wet ape suit on, saturated with water, going through the swamp like that. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things in that swamp.
The better
yeah,
video
man.
footage that I've seen with a lot of other stuff.
I mean, I think this. Did you find your video, Ron?
Yeah, I got it. I got it
Okay,
ready.
Let me pull this one.
I got this. What was it again? The skunk ape?
Skunk ape. Skunk ape, yeah.
Would have helped if I actually shared it, right? Don't worry, I have it muted. So
Ethan, Lizzie Borden.
And it's blurry, but look, watch this thing, how it starts taking this tree.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Now, but it takes a few, but watch, as it takes it, wait till you see when it throws the friggin' thing. Watch this, see it running?
Man, that's fast, dude.
But wait, like when I seen this, I was like,
clearer.
I know, me too. I'm gonna probably download it and try to enhance it. Here we go. Watch this. So it takes a tree. You'll see it. They stood on this part for about 20 seconds, but you'll see when it throws it. It's incredible. I don't think there's no music. See it?
Holy shit!
Hey, look.
That ain't no little branch or nothing, man. That's a tree.
Yes.
What? I never seen this one.
You think it was throwing it at the people
Oh,
with the
here's
camera?
the other skunk ape eating the grubs out of the tree. This is another one.
And just want to announce this is fair use.
Tony, look at
everybody
that.
out there.
Bigfoot Tony, it says on the bottom. Saw that? That thing's ripping apart a tree to get to the grubs on the inside. That's wild, man. Somebody killed the sex bot. Okay.
I just killed it.
Kill that sex bot. Russian jumping yeti.
That was crazy too.
Oh, what?
It looks like a chimp almost.
A gorilla, yeah, right?
Yeah.
But again, the same old question is going to come up. Why is this so blurry?
Yeah.
I call it the Bigfoot pixel lens.
Because to fix something, you're going to make it more blurry to make it more believable. Like is every
you
camera's going to shoot blurry
or not?
Now,
is there a way to enhance this?
I'm going to download it and do that. But I'm going to forward a little. Hold on.
That looks like a bully ape. You know the big bully apes that they just found, Ron? They're like hairless, they're cock diesel. That's what that thing looks like.
That I believe was fake when it showed like something chasing a car.
Underneath its
Somebody in a ghillie suit.
Yeah.
But
oh, there it is, right there.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. I've done this one on my channel before that one.
What?
See, now, if I was that close, Would you
This
have
is
walked up to it if it was that close to you?
No,
I
I
would.
thought that was a bear. He zoomed in, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here.
I remember this one.
That one is
Right now,
interesting because
if you count right now, 5, 6, 7. Watch how much ground this thing covers in 60 seconds.
On
Like, it may
snow
not
and
look like
ice.
a lot. That's a lot.
On snow and ice, nevertheless.
And uphill. Wait till you see the mountains.
One day somebody's gonna get a nice video with a gun scope that has a camera.
You got to remember too, the
It's in the middle
altitude
of nowhere.
and the altitude with the breathing that
You
makes
have
it
to breathe
harder.
in that altitude, yeah.
But look already in that short time. Look at them already.
Jesus.
it is pretty fast, and because that snow's got to be a little deep for a human trying to walk in it, because not a lot of people are walking on it. So that's going to slow you down. A regular person is going to slow down a human.
Thing is moving.
That thing is walking through it like
he's walking on the sidewalk.
Now, Ron, I'm just asking you,
Looking.
Ron, can somebody put in a black dot to make it look like it's walking that clear to match the footage of this? Or this would be one of those hard ones to hoax putting a black dot walking?
No,
I
that looks
I
pretty
put it
real.
this way: with digital stuff, anything's possible. But if they did put that in there, they did a really good job. I'll tell you that.
That's covering ground, bro.
That's what I'm getting at. Imagine that was only a minute and a half ago I said that. Look where it is already.
That's that.
And that's going uphill.
Yeah, and snow and ice too.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I can't imagine a human covering that.
You and I, we wouldn't even made it to the rock yet. The first rock.
Yeah, Ron, did you check the metadata on these videos? Good one, Judy.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, good question. I didn't.
Yeah, but
I don't have the raw
to
files.
check metadata, don't you got to have the original footage?
Yeah.
But so send you the link to this video.
Yo, let
in
me
case you
ask
want to
you-
go over it.
Let me ask you guys this question. So I told you guys a couple days ago, the other night, like 2:00 in the morning. Remember, Eric? I told you I heard footsteps. Sound like 3 footsteps coming up the basement. Then my motion light goes on. Then 3 footsteps going back down. Right? Okay. Then last night, sitting on the couch watching TV. It's about 2:20 in the morning. I hear something bang. I jump up. I run upstairs. My wife's asleep. The baby's asleep. I'm looking all over, see what fell. I go in the kids' room. She has a picture frame on her wall on a nail, and it's like hands doing a heart like this. But the picture frame's like that thick. Okay, it's in. The nail's in the wall, and that was on the nail. It came off the nail and fell into the hallway. Now, how it got off the nail and into the hallway when it fell is beyond me. But without the nail coming out of the wall, how could a picture come flying off the wall like that? Seriously. No windows open. The heat didn't kick on. None of that. The dog was in the bed with my wife. I have no idea how that happened.
Well, it's not an earthquake. You would have felt.
No, nothing.
Kind of
The house didn't shake. None of that.
And I don't know if there's earthquakes in New York.
Nah, very, 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 very rarely. But I posted it this morning on Facebook because I was shocked, like how a heavy picture frame could come off the nail without. I could see if the nail came out of the wall and the picture fell, but the nail was still in the wall, and it's been up there for months. This picture, and it just removed itself from the wall and like threw itself in the hallway.
Now, just curious, when it fell, is there any way possible that it could just hit something on an angle that make it go boom, boom, boom like
Well,
that?
there's just a carpet on the floor in the kids' room. That's it.
Now, where you've been trying at all recently? I don't know, like trying to say spirits, you're welcome to my house or anything?
Nah, none of that.
Have you
You
tried
sure
to?
you haven't been doing the hokey pokey dance at night?
No musical chairs, none of that stuff.
You ever thought about trying
Serious.
to do an EVP around 2 a.m. in the morning?
Who told me that
Shot?
this morning? Somebody told me that.
Big
Somebody
paranormal investigator you are, buddy. You didn't pull out your equipment.
Somebody, well, the baby was sleeping in the room. What was I gonna, that's why I didn't do anything. But let me see something, because somebody had mentioned that this morning when I posted it. They're like, and then somebody also said, well, you and Ron, welcome you and Ron been chasing these things, so now they're coming for you. Somebody said something like that. No, but I was a little taken back this morning when that happened.
Well, think about it. If you take an EVP with you, because like I say, you have a baby in there, you don't have to, just take the EVP machine and put it close to your mouth and speak quietly, because they'll hear you and say,
Brett,
tell me something. And then the EVP, just have it recording, just leave it on for 5-10 minutes.
Brett Felber said, you keep messing with the paranormal. And then Jim said, throw a digital voice recorder on. And Tommy G said, reminds me of that night the Hat Man visited him. And
oh, Jesus, Hat Man.
Blue Chicken said, main thing is you and your family are all okay. So, I mean, I don't know. It was just so weird. 2 nights in a row, something strange like that happened. It's just odd.
Well,
her mother, we bought this house from my father-in-law. So Janine's mom passed away in this house. So I told Janine this morning, when I went into the bedroom, and it was the picture frame with the heart like that fell. And there's 2 other pictures directly under it. And how none of them got knocked down as that fell. Like if it just fell straight down, it would have had to knock another one off or make another one crooked or something. But the feeling I got when I went into the room was her mom. And I never met her mother. She died before I met Janine. So, I mean, weird.
She's probably a nice person, right?
What
you've probably heard of.
What I know, I never met her.
Why would, I'm just thinking out loud, why would she knock down the picture?
The baby.
That's important.
Her granddaughter is in the bed. Never met her granddaughter. And it's the picture with the heart. The hands in the heart. The baby's hands holding a heart. The baby's hands trace holding a heart.
I'm not saying this happened, because you hear stories.
I'm just speculating.
Oh, no, it's just speculation. It's speculations too. What if there are stories that sometimes a ghost attaches itself to you? When you guys went to that, saw the handprint on the wall out there. What if the ghost attached to you?
Yeah, but then
give it a ride to your house.
Something happens all this time later.
There's stories that they only.
You want to hear something else weird? The baby has full friggin' conversations with herself in the sleep sometimes. You'll walk up in her room, she'll be sitting up in the bed having a conversation, and you're like, Destiny, you all right, honey? And she's just talking, but she's sound asleep. It's the strangest friggin' thing you'll ever see in your life. Freaky, man. Freaky. One day I gotta film that when she does that.
Now, you said it happened 2 nights in a row. Then maybe tonight you should just put a digital recorder or something to record. Leave your phone recording.
Let me ask you this. Now, you said the first night you heard the steps going up the steps.
From the basement.
Maybe the origin of this is in that basement.
I'm in the basement right now. I filmed that.
Oh, you're in the basement.
Nothing ever happens down here that I know of.
Not yet.
Thanks, bro. I don't know. Just strange. Just 2 strange incidents. That's all.
We should do a live EVP session.
I'll tell you what. Tonight when she's sleeping in the room, I'll just put my phone in there to record for like 3 hours, and then I'll listen to it tomorrow. See, the problem with my night vision, it'll only record for 30 minutes. Same with our camcorders, right, Ron?
Yeah, but no, the camcorders are made for that. They'll record until the battery or until the
camcorder in there on night vision.
It's the DSLRs, but I use an intervalometer. I put that in and I set it to start it over again every 30 minutes, so that once it ends, like it'll go start again. So it's like always going. if you have a spot on your psionics that you could plug an intervalometer in,
Can't plug anything into that. Just the
you
charge.
can't plug. It doesn't have like a little. It looks like a little mic jack thing.
Nope. Just
No,
the charge.
because with that, then you don't have to worry. You could just have it. It'll just.
But the camcorders that you and I bought from Amazon, probably.
The camcorder, that's it. Just plug a power cord into it, put a big SD card in, and just let it run. It won't stop. It'll go until the SD card is full.
All right, so I'm gonna do that tonight. Tonight at like midnight, I'll put the camera on. She'll be asleep. She won't mess with anything. You know what I mean? And I'll
Just put
throw
it
the
lower
camera on.
resolution, because if you put it high resolution,
Low
it'll
resolution?
record quick.
Okay.
The lower resolution, it'll record longer. Like
I'm
that.
gonna do that tonight.
Cool.
All right, so let's do this real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Let me just share this screen real quick. So what's going on today on your channel? Anthony?
Oh, tonight I'm doing another small documentary on Dr. Greer. I called it Disclosure or Dishonesty. 6 p.m. tonight.
You know what I might do for you, Anthony? Because right at 3 o'clock.
No, I'm not on at 3 o'clock. It's at
No, my time is 3 o'clock.
Oh.
So it's 6 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
But you see here, 3 o'clock my time. See, it's 3 p.m. right there. Look at that. 3 p.m., guys. West Coast is the best coast. Come on.
East Coast is the Beast Coast, homie.
You know, maybe
Judy, I like that. That's a good idea.
I'll be at my son's school picking him up at 3, so maybe I'll pop in with some of those airplanes.
Oh, that would be dope.
You know, because I could do it from my phone. Like, you know, I'll stand next to one of those airplanes and say,
His son's school has the Janet Airlines plane there, Ron, that they took the staff to Area 51 with.
Oh, really?
They have one of those there at the school. They have a bunch of jets, but they have that one in particular.
Yeah, their aviation school is connected with the Boeing Museum of Flight.
Listen, people in the chat, I really would appreciate it if you came to check out this episode tonight. You know, I call this one the Night Talk episode. Night Talk with us on Thursdays, every other Thursday. So this one should be interesting because I got a few emails asking me about Dr. Greer and, you know, him doing fraudulent sightings using flares and shit like that. So I cover all that tonight.
So,
I got nothing going on.
You got a lot of
tonight.
memory only stuff.
No, I gotta
these are
put.
past tense. These are past tense. Okay.
I gotta put a thumbnail up for Friday at 7 p.m. I just didn't do it yet.
Weekend warm up.
Yeah, the weekend warm up Friday at 7.
I love that banner, man. That Madden made. Dope.
It really is. It's like it's got a comic book Stan
Yeah,
Lee feeling.
I love it.
Yeah, maybe I'll use that as the thumbnail so I can show the whole comic, because the banner part doesn't do it justice because it only shows part of it like that. But the actual image is freaking awesome that she made.
You got to change your picture on there back to Cosmo, the little round one.
Oh yeah, my little boy right here, Cosmo.
I love that alien.
Yeah.
Paranormal Pixie, I hope your husband feels better, hon. Sorry to hear he's not feeling well.
And one last question to everybody in the chat, and then we'll get out of here. I want you guys to look at this thumbnail here. Does Ron look good in that thumbnail? Look at Ron crawling out of that water. Doesn't he look good? Put one for yes, that he looks good.
You see, I was gonna let it go, right? Shit. When Anthony said he's gonna get you, and I was gonna let it go, but now that you publicly went forward to make sure you press the claim,
I think Ron looks awesome.
His
only leg is fit Ron.
At least I got a gun. I look good, man. Me and Eric, Men in Black.
Oh, macho man.
Judy wrote,
that shit's
to give you one. Judy likes it.
Does anybody want to see
Eric? You're gonna get it so bad, homie.
Chaps?
Eric's gonna get it so bad. I feel assless chaps coming into thumbnails. What I feel.
That's it. Assless chaps. You're gonna see Eric. Macho man.
Furry assless chaps and a pink vest.
Angel
wings, like these little weakling arms where I'm like,
And then
Oh,
where's it?
shit.
What is it? Cosmic Neighbors, Our Aliens, Laugh Out Loud.
That's funny shit, man. Where the hell did you get that picture to put his head on that? That's hysterical.
You know what? I do my research. I was looking up Men in Black, but I couldn't fit something. And then somewhere in the Men in Black, there's this person out of the water. I'm like, huh. Well, a Men in Black coming out of the water.
No. And so you all out there, so you know the story is that I asked Eric yesterday. I says, by the way, but am I on the show or something? I says, and he said, yeah. And I said, then why am I not on the friggin' thumbnail? But I said it a little more colorful. And then I wake up today and I see that crap. All right.
You got your wish, bro.
I gotcha.
That's
I like to play that game.
I think he looks awesome.
Yeah. Wait till you see you tomorrow, dude.
Fabulous.
I can't wait.
He's going to start selling T-shirts with you on it, buddy.
That's
right.
right.
Everybody in the chat, I know my time's kind of changed again because the kids are back in school. I loved it between 9 and 10, kind of like Anthony's. His is 9, or actually his is 12 East West Coast. But I don't get home until 9:15. so no, that. Right. So I want to thank everybody for showing up today. It was always fun, and I hope a lot of you learned a little bit about the Maury Island incident. And to this day, I still wonder why it's not as publicized as Roswell. I mean, you have the Men in Black story. You got 6 UFOs compared to 1. I mean, it's all speculations anyway. Unless we were physically there, we really don't know what really happened because we weren't there.
It was a great story, though.
But it's a great story about the bomber and and how high he went up, and the state of Washington backed it up. The story that they like go with the story. Only thing I don't understand why Des Moines, where I live, don't embrace it more and have a festival with it every year. I mean, it would be a fun ass festival.
Oh, like the Hopkinsville Goblin.
Yeah,
did,
and for a regular person like me, you got to get permits. Maybe that's why they charge so much for permits to do something like this. But I would think the town should embrace this, have a festival. I think they would have a great time on the water and the pier where it happened at. I mean, it's right there. They can have it right there. But yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. Beyond that, I will see everybody later, and I'll see everybody 6 p.m. on Unidentified S4 channel. And then Cosmic Neighbors, once he has the next video, I'm sure he's gonna put my face on a dog or something, urinating on a pole. I don't know. He's gonna do something now. I think I just opened up a can of worms.
Oh boy, this is gonna be.
I no comment.
He's bleeding.
No comment.
He's bleeding.
All right, we'll see everybody later.